Hello, my name is Dakota, and today it is 9:30 on August 10th of 2025, and I am going to try to vlog the third week of my very first rotation in my third year of medical school. I am doing my orthosurgery rotation, so I'll be trying to get clips basically at all possible times when I'm not seeing patients or in a hospital environment. I'm starting this the night before just to let you know that that's what this is going to be like. So without further ado, here's my first rotation in medical school. Good morning. It is like 6:30 and I am getting ready because today I'm going to be in the clinic. I don't know if I can flip 4 eggs without a spatula. I can. And it is now 8 in the morning and I am sitting in the parking lot of the clinic. So I actually got really lucky because my first rotation is in my hometown, San Diego. So I get to be home with my family during my first rotation, which makes it really soft landing because being surgery, a lot of times it's a dreadful rotation because of how busy it is and how rigorous it is, but I got really lucky because my preceptor is really nice, so he's really helped me transition into the rotations with a lot of gentleness and kindness. And I've also been at home with my family, so then I get to spend time with them and I get to have meals with them, and a lot of the, not burdens, but a lot of the things that I would normally have to worry about living on my own, taking care of myself, I don't, because my parents help take care of that for me. But I am now at the clinic, so I'm gonna get inside and I'll probably see you at like 5 o'clock when I get out. And we're back. I am back in the car, and believe it or not, I got off at 4 o'clock today, and that has not happened yet. Usually I get off at like 5, so this is the first time that we actually got off at 4, so now I'm pretty excited about that, honestly, because it'll give me more time to get home and to study, because that's what I always do after my rotations. Hello, so I am back home. I am not as disheveled or excited about getting off early, and I'm going to sit down and start studying. So every day after my rotations, I come home and then I study. So I study what my preceptor tells me to read up on, because those usually pertain to the surgeries we're going to see or things that he remembers being on board exams. And then I also study for board exams. So then in addition to just reading, I also do UWorld questions and Anki. So that's pretty much what takes up most of my studying now that I'm a third year. But on rotations like this where I'm busy, it takes up the rest of my day. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the night, aside from eating dinner. But I had a little bit of a snack, and I'm going to wait for the rest of my family to get home and have dinner with them. I am now having dinner with my family because that is a luxury that I have with a rotation in my hometown. My mom is having bunryu, and she made tacos for Taylor and me. Look at Taylor, she's eating.
Oh my god, acne.
And now that I'm done with dinner, it is back to studying. And that essentially concludes my Monday. That was a day in the clinic. Most of the hours of which you didn't see, but I went into the clinic, I saw patients, took their histories, I did consults and saw if they were good surgical candidates, and that leads me into my Tuesday. And Tuesdays are OR days where we actually go to the hospital, so I'll be showing that to you tomorrow. But just reflecting on some things, I am really, really lucky because this is my first rotation and there's a lot of things that I'm learning and transitioning into, and it's a surgery rotation, no less. An ortho surgery rotation, no less. But I'm lucky because my preceptor is really nice and he's been really, really gentle with this transition. So he gives us reading assignments, he tells us to practice sutures, and then in the OR, we actually do the sutures, and during clinic, we present to him what we read up on. And when we get stuff wrong or we're learning, he's very gentle with us, very kind, helps us along the process, tells us what to focus on, what not to. And we'll make silly mistakes. Like today, he was reaching for something with his hand out, and I was holding it. And he wanted me to hand it to him, obviously, but I didn't understand, so I fist bumped him. And he just laughed it off and asked me to hand it to him, and he jokes around about that later on. But yeah, I'm really lucky to have this preceptor, and I'm really fortunate because he's so nice. I am actually fearing the OR less because of him. Before med school, or not before med school, but before my rotation started, knowing that I was sort of surgery too, I was really timid about it, and I was anxious, thinking that the OR would not be a place for me. And despite messing up several times on my first day, actually the entirety of my first week, he was still really kind with me, helped me move forward, and now I'm actually really liking the OR. So hopefully tomorrow, when I have my OR day, which I'm waking up early for, so I should really get to bed, you will see that and how I return to you after the day's over. But thanks for watching my Monday, and let's get on to Tuesday. I can't even open my eyes, it's too bright. It's 5:30 in the morning. Gotta get ready for the OR. I don't even think I'm gonna fix my hair because I've gotta put it in bouffant. She won't even get out of bed, it's too early for her. And I am now at the hospital. I think that's something that I'm going to miss for my future rotations, is just having my family around. Because this morning, like, I got up really early. It's like 5:30. It's not even 7 yet when I'm sitting in the parking lot right now. And my mom was actually awake with me, so she made breakfast with me, and then she kind of just sat and talked with me while I was getting ready to leave for the day. But I'm gonna enjoy it while I have it now. So I'm gonna head in. I've got a bunch of arthroscopies today. Or shoulder? Yeah, shoulder arthroscopies. We're gonna be repairing rotator cuffs. I'm pretty comfortable with the procedure because we've done it quite a few times, so I'm gonna get inside, get cleaned up, and get ready for the day. And just like that, just a quick cut, and I am back for my OR day. I actually got out early too. Maybe it's a good omen. Maybe I should vlog more often because I keep getting out earlier than I have been historically. But I'm just really happy. Honestly, something my preceptor really cares about is that he wants to change the stigma surrounding the operating room and surgery, because he doesn't like the stereotype that surgeons are scary and it's an intense place, so he tries to make it fun. And he succeeds, because I honestly never thought that I would like the OR. I was scared of it because I'm not good with all those like rigidities and the rules and stuff, but it's really good and I've had a lot of fun in there. So what I thought was a closed door might be a little bit more open to me. I don't necessarily think I'm interested in doing surgery specifically, but it's not off the books like I thought it was previously. Of course, that is also in orthosurgery with a shoulder specialist, where the patients aren't acute, everybody's a good surgical candidate, the operations are all like an hour and a half or less. So maybe this is just, I just got lucky for my first rotation. But I am gonna head back home now and make the most of the early day because I have a lot of extra time that I don't want to waste. I have studied for quite a few hours, but Kayla's here now and she needs to fill up her gas. So we're gonna go to Costco, we're gonna fill up her gas, and we're gonna get some Costco food from the food court because that sounds really good right now.
Anybody? You cheating on me. I'm sorry, my car's dirty.
No, I
Did you see?
Okay, exit dash.
Oh, I wasn't recording. So a little update. I had originally planned to watch the meteor shower tonight because there's a very special meteor shower going on August 12th, 2025. However, I could not see it. So instead, Kayla and I, come here. So instead, Kayla put on Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban. And I just kind of studied a little bit while she watched it. And then Preston ended up coming over, kind of like a surprise visit, because him and Taylor went to watch movies. So Preston played a little bit of Cuphead on Taylor's Switch before they left, and we watched Prisoner of Azkaban while I studied. It was a little bit less productive than I wanted, but I already finished all the mandatory stuff that I planned to get done for the day, so I was perfectly fine with like not getting a ton of extra studying done because it's not often that I'm back here at home, so I'd rather just spend the time with my family and friends doing fun stuff, because I can study later. Anyways, that's my Tuesday. Honestly, an atypical Tuesday, and tomorrow's gonna be an atypical Wednesday too, so maybe I should vlog more often because I get to do all the special fun stuff when I'm vlogging for some reason. Hello, good morning. So, like I said, today is also gonna be a bit of an abnormal day because I actually only have a half day in the clinic. So, I am going to go to that, but my friend from med school is visiting town and she wants to go to trivia night. And that is not until 6:30, but it's like 5 minutes away from the clinic. So I'm gonna try my best to stay in the area and pass time as best as I can. And since I have to study anyways, I'm going to go to the local library, study there for a little bit. I'm gonna meet up with my dad and try to have lunch with him. And then I'm gonna bring my surfboard, which means that I'm taking the Jeep today, so I'm excited for that. And I'm gonna try to surf a little bit before I actually make it to trivia night with my friend if I have the time after studying. So I'm gonna get on with that so that I'm not late with clinic. And we are in the Jeep. I've got my white coat laid out across my surfboard. I'm letting the Jeep warm up because it's been a while. Oh man, that was so fun. I'm definitely out of practice. Surprisingly, I wasn't too weak or tired to be out there, but I was out of practice. My skills are not what they used to be. When I get back to SoCal and surf a bunch, I'll be back like nothing. That was so fun. The waves were so good today. There were some legitimately good people out there. Like, there were people that were crazy. They were so good at surfing. I was having fun just watching them. Like, forget the waves that I caught. Like, that was great. Probably seen me wear this sweater so many times. I swear I wash it. It's just my favorite sweater because my girlfriend got it for me. Also, be so real with me. Do these sandals make or break the fit? Heading back, I really am glad that I met such amazing people in med school because I just had trivia night with some of them and I just really, my life would not be the same without them. I'm very glad that I got to meet such amazing people in med school, but alas, they're still hanging out because some of them don't have the rotations or they're just more lively than me. But my mom texted me saying that if I want to have breakfast tomorrow, I've got to pick up eggs on my way home. So I'm gonna go to the grocery store on my way home, pick up some eggs, pick up some milk, and then get cleaned up and go to bed for the night. And then tomorrow is clinic. Tomorrow and Friday are both gonna be busier days, so those are probably gonna be a little less exciting to watch, but hopefully we can document something and make something out of it. Alas, Wednesday night is over. This was a fun day. I'm really glad I got to do this, especially during my surgery rotation in medical school. Anyways, I'll see you back at home. My mother is also wearing scrubs today. We're matching colors.
Medical spa though,
Yeah.
not outdoor.
Someone just drove by. I'm gonna record from down here. I just got to clinic and today is gonna be a full day, not a half day, so it's back to normal. So I'm gonna do that and then I've got to study tonight because I've got a lot of studying always. So that's just the plan for the day. I don't think it's anything special, though I must say my preceptor always feeds me and that is just the kindest thing ever. The first day I actually offered to pay him back and he goes, "What? No, you're a medical student. Just remember this and pay it forward." Surgeons can be nice. That was incredible. And I feel like that right there really characterizes my experience on this rotation. This preceptor is just so incredibly kind. And like I said before, he wants to make it so that surgeons are kind of destigmatized. And at least for him, it's definitely like he is so special. Maybe not all surgeons are nice, but there are definitely nice surgeons out there. I don't think I've paid for a single meal since I've been working with him. And he's paying for not just me, but also the other medical student and his 4 medical assistants. So it's just, I'm completely awestruck by him. I hope that I can one day be like him. I don't usually look up to people and think, oh yeah, you're my role model. But like, when I think of him, like, I want to be a doctor like him. Like, I want to be a strong leader, but have no ego. And I want to be able to help people and give constructive criticism or help people grow in a way that's kind and gentle and not mean and scary. And I want to learn how to balance that with having the confidence to be self-assured and whatnot. But that is what I'm thinking of this morning. I'm going to go in and have zero confidence because I'm still a lowly med student who knows actually nothing. So always learning. We'll be learning for a while, but I'll see you in a little bit. I'm at home now. I just do my beddings in the laundry. I'm kind of just laying on the floor because I'm tired, dude. Today, like, we got off exactly at like 4, so honestly, I shouldn't be tired. Like, the number of patients wasn't overwhelming, but like, today was a lot. One of the first patients that I worked with was a houseless individual, and I think just emotionally starting my day with that was really draining. Like, not in a bad way, or like, not in a way that I'm saying like it was negative. He had broken his arm, and he was really saying he's just going to turn his life around. Like, this is going to be the turning point. This is when he's going to stop drinking, stop smoking. He's going to do everything that it takes to make his life right. And it was really inspiring, but it made me really, really sad. And one of the things that I really dreamed of is that I would either do this or have a hand in creating this, but I wanted to create like a homeless shelter that offered medical opportunities and psychiatric opportunities specifically to houseless individuals, because a lot of times they're on the streets because they have psychiatric diagnoses that they can't necessarily treat or work with, and that despite trying to get their life together, because of those psychiatric things, they can't do it, and they never have those addressed. And then I was going to try to do something like that, but I only had to deal with one houseless individual, and I say deal with because I'm referring not to the person, but to the emotional weight of it. And it was really hard for me. Like, it wore on me, and for the rest of the day I was like thinking about that and thinking about what I could have done differently or what more I could be doing. But I'm still just a med student, and honestly I don't know what I could do to help him. But then after that, I saw some other patients, and as the day went on, for some reason, as the day went on, I kept seeing younger and younger patients. So then it actually was a little bit more fun to have conversations with them, because it was a little bit more like socializing with them. But I don't know, that I want to do something like that, but emotionally I don't know if I'm capable of it. Something that kind of just hit me today, and I'm thinking about quite a bit now. But yeah, I'm home now. I'm going to take some floor time, and then I'm going to study some more. So study. So, change of plans. Kayla's cousin is back from deployment as of today, so he is actually living in the area that I have to go to tomorrow for my rotation. And I have to be up at like 6 in the morning tomorrow. I have to be there by like 6:50 because it's surgery in the morning. But I'm gonna go and spend the night at his place tonight because I haven't seen him in so many months, and I don't know when I'll get the chance to see him again. But that also means that I will likely have to miss out on a little bit of studying, and I can make up for that later, because honestly I'm ahead and I'm gonna be fine. Like, no matter what happens, I'll be fine. I'm not in San Diego very often, so I'm trying to make the most of it by seeing my friends and family as much as possible. It does stress me out a little bit, because being in town, everybody knows that I'm here, and they basically make my schedule for me, and they just fill it with all sorts of fun things, which I love. But I also need to study so bad. But that's okay, because I don't get to see them very often. I'll always have more time to study, kind of. And when I go back to Henderson, I won't be able to see them or spend time with them like this again. So gotta make the most of the time while I'm here around them, and I'm going to go do that now. So heading, long drive. Oh man, dude, I am fried. We had surgery in the morning, and then we had clinic afterwards. And by the end of the day, I was just exhausted. But then I talked to the doctor a little bit, and he gave us some more pointers on what we should work on for the future. And honestly, it was a long conversation, not just about what we should work on. That part was actually not too long, but we kind of got into some things that are philosophical about practicing and just how to approach life and becoming a doctor, and kind of how those two were integrated. And it was just really inspiring, honestly. And like, I am still tired, but talking to him like that and being inspired by him honestly kind of rejuvenated me, and I'm pretty much ready to go for the rest of the day. Hopefully I have a commute back that'll calm me down and help me like do nothing, just zone out. But there's just so many things that I admire about working with this physician, and a lot of it is very obvious in the fact that he's just got so much wisdom from living and putting into practice the things and working on the things that he tells us about. Because like some of the things that he talks about and he does, and he doesn't even talk about what he just does, it's very obvious that like even if you want to do those things, actually doing them is really hard. And an example of that is that like when he deals with one patient, sometimes it's a really difficult patient and he's like frustrated, he's angry, but he'll regulate himself enough that when he goes into the next room, it's a brand new start. So that the second patient doesn't have any of the animosity, doesn't get any of that runoff, because they're a whole different person with a whole different story and a whole different thing to think about. And he's never talked about that, but I admire that because I've seen it a couple of times where I'm with him in one room and the patient's really difficult, and then we go into the next room and it's sunshine, just hello, how are you, just excited to see them. And it's so just beyond just being refreshing, it's like incredible, and it just inspires me, it strikes me, I'm just so awestruck with seeing that. And those are the kinds of things that I really want to do. And I just hope that I remember all of these things from my very first rotation with this individual and carry it on, not just through the rest of my rotation or residency and into practice, because there are a lot of things that he does that I just want to emulate as well. And I'm really fortunate that I not only get to work with him, but get to work with him first. And I hope that these things do truly get carried on. That was kind of long, but I'm heading home now. I'm gonna drive back home and get to studying. Kayla's gonna come over tonight, so you'll see her too. And now it is Saturday morning, and I have a lot of studying to do because I may have gotten a little bit behind, but Taylor wants to go to the mall really quick. Kayla is currently having brunch with a friend, so I'm gonna get a little bit of studying done in between all of these activities. I think one of my friends is also coming over because she's got a triathlon tomorrow, so she's gonna spend the night here to get ready for that. Okay, that was my week during the very first rotation of my third year of medical school. I'm ending it now on Saturday night because it's actually like almost midnight. I've just been studying. I would continue through tomorrow, but tomorrow's kind of going to be the same thing as today. It was just like studying with intermittent little moments, so I'll spare you the redundancy of that. I think from this week though, this rotation, these 3 weeks that I've had so far in my very first rotation, some of the things that I want to take away is the fact that the surgeon that I worked with is truly just an incredible individual. And I feel like in addition to just the medicine that I can learn from him, there's a lot as far as being a good person that I can learn from him. And he's trying to create change within his community by not only educating other surgeons to be kind to people, but also within just practices, because he doesn't care what specialty you plan to go into. He wants to just raise physicians that are compassionate, good people, and intelligent. So he was telling me about how he has students in family practice that he had as his medical students that are now fully practicing. And he'll refer to them and they'll refer to him. And it creates a positive environment because the people that weren't nice to him during his training, he doesn't refer to them. Or the students that were too gunner for him, he doesn't refer to them either. And he creates within his community a really positive environment for patients and working coworker physicians. There was once a patient that was telling him like, oh, you are God. Like it goes, God, you, because you have the hands of a miracle worker. And he goes, I'm not God. I'm just a normal everyday guy like you. These hands are lucky hands because they get to work on you. And things like that. I want to I want to emulate that as I go forward in the future in my career. To anybody watching this, also, because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably one of my friends, or you're me in the future reflecting on my medical school, I'd hope that all these things kind of come back to you, and that if you're not living the way that I think that you should now, like if you're not living in upholding the moral standards that I'm thinking of right now as I reflect on my rotation here, that seeing this reminds you of it and tells you like, hey, it's okay. Let's get back to how we want to be though. Listening to all of your patients, because that was another thing that I really admired about this physician that I'm working with, is that he takes the time to personally see all of his patients. Even if it's just a follow-up, he doesn't need to go in there just to look at the dressings. He'll go in there and talk to them and answer any questions that they have. And he gives everybody the time that they deserve. So, future Kody, anybody watching this, please pay it forward. Mentor people, take on people, help educate them, have the patience with them, and just try to create a community that you want by being the starting epicenter of it. Yeah. Anyways, thank you if you sat here and watched this week in the life. It was a little bit rough around the edges and kind of crude. I think if I had the time, I would like to make something that's really cinematic and aesthetic pleasing and entertaining to watch, but I don't have the time for that just because my life is very hectic and busy right now with rotations and studying. But I hope that it has its own little charm to it, because this is truly a very raw look at my life. And as I continue to do this, I hope I do get better at making these little vlogs, but also like I hope that I don't lose that. So please, if you enjoyed this, I'm just really glad that you watched it all the way through. And if you're watching this again, future Kody, or showing this to your friends, I hope you remember how wonderful this rotation was, because truly this is something that I think I want to carry with me for the rest of my life.